His name is Aniken, and his journey is nothing short of a miracle. Aniken was found curled up in a pile of garbage, barely clinging to life. His body told a story of unimaginable suffering. Skin stretched tightly over his bones, deep infected wounds carelessly stitched by an unskilled hand, and patches of fur missing, replaced by raw, bleeding skin. His suffering had been immense, yet his spirit still flickered, as fragile as a candle in the wind. The rescue began with a phone call. Reggie, a dedicated animal rescuer, received a tip about a pit bull wandering a gas station parking lot, desperately searching for scraps. Calls like this were common. Another starving stray in need of help. But the moment Reggie arrived, he felt the weight of something far worse. The dog before him was not just abandoned, he had been brutalized. His eyes, dull and lifeless, held a story of pain deeper than any wound on his body. Without hesitation, Reggie scooped up the trembling dog and rushed him to the vet, making urgent calls to his team along the way. When they arrived, the veterinary staff gasped at the sight before them. Aniken was barely alive, his organs failing, his blood poisoned by infection, and his skin riddled with mites. Ticks the size of dimes covered his frail body, leeching away what little strength he had left. The examination revealed even darker truths. "Reggie," the vet said, her voice steady yet laced with sorrow, "I've seen a lot in my years, but this is something else." Reggie swallowed hard, bracing himself. "What do you mean?" The vet gently lifted Aniken's muzzle. "His teeth have been intentionally removed. The ones that weren't pulled were filed down to nothing. His wounds, they're not from accidents. This poor soul was used as a bait dog." Reggie felt his stomach drop. He had heard of bait dogs before, but standing face to face with one was a different kind of horror. These dogs were used as living prey, thrown into fights with no means of defense, their suffering prolonged for the entertainment of monsters. "Jesus," Reggie whispered, his hands clenching into fists. "People really do this." The vet nodded solemnly. "It's sickeningly common in the underground dogfighting world. Aniken wouldn't have lasted another week on the streets in this condition. It's a miracle he's alive at all." Reggie knelt beside Aniken, his fingers gently stroking the dog's head. "You've made it this far, buddy, and I swear you're going to make it all the way." The road to recovery was slow, but Aniken fought with a strength no one expected. At first he could barely lift his head, too weak even to eat on his own. But Reggie and his team refused to give up. Day by day, meal by meal, Aniken gained strength. His frail body began to absorb the nutrition it had been denied for so long. Then something incredible happened. 1 week into his recovery, Aniken wagged his tail for the first time. It was weak, just a slight movement, but it was there. And for the first time he leaned into a gentle touch, closing his eyes as if savouring a kindness he had never known before. "That's it, buddy," Reggie whispered, his eyes welling with tears. "You're safe now." Aniken needed extensive treatment, including hyperbaric oxygen therapy to heal his wounds and improve his circulation. A kind-hearted foster family near the clinic stepped in to care for him, and their love made all the difference. They showered him with affection, fed him high-calorie meals, and gave him a warm bed for the first time in his life. At first, Aniken struggled with the simplest tasks. His paws dragged when he walked, his body unsure of its newfound freedom. But then, a small squeaky toy changed everything. When his foster mum gave it to him, his ears perked up. He hesitated at first, as if unsure of what to do. Then he nudged it, the sound surprising him. Slowly he picked it up, and his tail gave the biggest wag yet. His foster dad laughed. "You've still got it, buddy." With each passing day, Aniken transformed. He learned to trust, to play, to love. He even developed a mischievous side, once stealing a sock from the laundry basket, and proudly prancing around the living room with it, his eyes twinkling with newfound joy. Then came the biggest moment of all. His foster family had fallen in love with him, and they made it official. Aniken was home forever. On adoption day, he stood tall and proud, his tail wagging so hard it was a blur. Reggie watched, barely able to believe this was the same dog who had once been left to die in a trash heap. "You did it, buddy," Reggie whispered, smiling through his tears. "You made it." Years passed and Aniken, now called Ian, flourished in his forever home. He had a family who adored him, dog siblings who played with him, and a life filled with love. He had once been a victim of unspeakable cruelty, but now he was proof of the resilience of the spirit and the healing power of kindness. Every time Reggie saw a picture of Ian, his heart swelled with pride. Ian was not just a survivor, he was a testament to what love could do. He had been to the darkest depths of suffering, but he had risen stronger and happier than anyone had imagined possible.
Come on, buddy.
Aniken's story is a powerful reminder that every life matters. No creature deserves to suffer as he did, and no act of kindness is ever too small to make a difference. If this story moved you, please share it. Let's raise awareness about the horrors of dogfighting and the importance of rescue efforts. Together we can be the voice for the voiceless and ensure that no animal suffers in silence. Thank you for reading. If you believe in second chances, spread this story and be part of the change. Because love truly has the power to heal all wounds.